Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing a video talking about the silencer you see here in front of you. This is the Yankee Hill R9 or the YHM R9. This is attached currently to my Zenith Z5P SBR. Obviously we have it attached via tri-lug, but as we'll talk about later, we have a ton of different ways to actually mount this to your gun. Now for those of you who love data sheets, let me go ahead, take the side of the screen, feel free to pause it so you can see all the specs, length, weight, etc. But for the rest of you, let's go ahead and just start talking about the features of a silencer like this one. So unlike most 9mm silencers that you're going to see on the market, this one is not end user serviceable. However, that does give us some advantages over other options on the market for 9mm silencers. So we have a fixed end cap out here to that 9mm diameter. We've got their flash hiding end cap that is on some of their more modern silencers. And then we've got a hub system back here so that we can use whatever mounting system we want, whether it be Yankee Hill's or anyone else's. So I believe it's the 1 3/8 by 24 or whatever that standardized thread pitch has become that we have back here. So right now I have the Yankee Hill tri-lug mount on there, but as you'll see in a lot of the footage, I've also done some of the booster piston assemblies on handguns, and that was actually done using the Silencer Co. booster piston system because, again, we have that universality of thread pitches here at the back of the silencer. Now, as I alluded to earlier, the fact that this thing is totally welded shut gives us something that you don't usually get out of a 9mm silencer, and that is a rifle rating. So you can actually shoot up to 308 through this silencer, so long as you keep it within the minimum barrel lengths as laid out by YHM. And that is something that, again, you don't typically see, but the drawback there is I cannot take this apart to clean it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't clean it. Definitely the best way to clean a silencer like this one is going to be soaking it. The manual is also going to have their recommended recipe for what to soak it in to help break some of that carbon up. But so far I've got, I don't know, probably a couple thousand rounds through this silencer, and I've not cleaned it, and I'm not really noticing any diminishing in performance from this silencer. Now, one thing to be aware of when we're talking about a silencer like this one is it's going to also be a little bit more of a wider diameter compared to some other pistol silencers on the market. So for especially those of you who like to recess their silencers under handguards, if you're putting it on like a 9mm carbine, that's just something to be aware of. We're kind of up to the rifle size for the outer diameter, but it is also relatively short compared to some 9mm silencers out there. So you're not going to have that same internal volume that's going to get you the same sound reduction as some of the longer, larger, like 36 caliber cans or even 9mm silencers, but this thing does do pretty well. Just as a way of demonstrating, let me go ahead and pop this mag out here. I've got a magazine with some 140 grain subsonic ammo. Obviously don't have ears on. Now, ordinarily, I do still use hearing protection when shooting suppressed, just because I shoot a lot and I want to protect my ears. But as you'll see, I can comfortably shoot this without hearing protection and subsonic ammo all day long. If you've seen the video I did on this gun, you know it doesn't always feed the last round on some of those oddly shaped bullets. But again, the whole idea here is that you can still comfortably shoot this thing without hearing protection, at least when you're shooting subsonic ammo. When shooting supersonic ammo, I would definitely still recommend wearing hearing protection. But then again, I'm going to recommend wearing hearing protection pretty much all the time anyway. Now, something unfortunate that we have to talk about because of the way silencers work here in the United States is having to deal with customer service. Because of the way our system works, you're effectively married to a silencer, so it's really important to know what kind of coverage you're going to get from the manufacturer should you run into any issues while using your silencer. And in my opinion, that's where Yankee Hill definitely has the most room for improvement. They've really kind of cut back on what all their warranty covers, basically saying a lot of the time you might have to pay out of pocket to do any repairs to your silencer if there's any damage done to it. And also, I can also say from experience, I've had less than stellar customer service from them just in general. I have one of the earlier YHM Turbo Ks. I've done a review on that. Hopefully you've seen that as well. And the older generation of those silencers does not have a flash hiding end cap like this R9 does, or even the new versions of the Turbo K, Resonator K, etc. They all pretty much have this same flashlighting end cap, and as a result, especially on shorter barrels, I get a ton of muzzle flash with the silencer installed. I actually get less muzzle flash without a silencer than I do with the silencer on that. And over the last couple years, I've reached out to Yankee Hill every so many months trying to get a hold of them to see if I can actually pay them to replace my end cap with a newer one. Now, originally when I did this, it was kind of in the heat of COVID. They said they were basically too busy. I get it. They were selling cans faster than they could make them. No harm, no foul. Waited about 6 months, contacted them again. Same story, waited 6 months. You get the idea there. However, the most recent time that I reached out to them, I don't know whether my customer service guy just was on one that week or what, but basically he told me that it doesn't actually make a difference with the new flashlight end caps. Maybe I should just try changing ammo, etc. And I told him that I've actually shot on the same guns because I have friends that after playing with my Turbo K, bought Turbo Ks. They got the newer version of them. I've used their cans on the same guns that I use my can on, the only difference being the generation of Turbo K. And there is significantly less muzzle flash with these new flashlighting end caps. They basically told me, I don't know what I'm talking about. The ammo makes the biggest difference. If there's going to be any difference whatsoever, and basically just stopped responding to me altogether. So that was kind of a bummer. Again, it'd be one thing if I was saying, you know, hey, do this for free because you have a new thing out. But like, I made it very abundantly clear that I'm willing to pay for the service. Just basically pretend like I damaged my end cap and replace it with the new flashlighting end cap. They, again, basically just stopped responding to me. And I did that from my own personal email, not my OreGear email, just to make sure I wasn't going to get any special treatment. And I definitely did not get any special treatment. So do with that information what you will. I was pretty frustrated by that experience, and it was a real bummer because I do like the Yankee Hill cans overall. This is my third Yankee Hill can. I have the Turbo K, as I mentioned before. I also bought a Resonator K, which you've seen a bunch on the channel, but I haven't done a review on it yet. And then I bought this R9, which it's worth mentioning. I did pay for this R9, but I did get it direct from Yankee Hill at a reduced cost for doing a review. Do with that information what you will. But anyway, I did still pay for the silencer and have basically had access to it the whole time now for well over a year, just because I work at my SOT where this thing is housed. So I've been able to use it quite a bit in that period of time. Now, one other thing that's worth mentioning, now that this thing is cool enough for me to take off, this is a relatively heavy silencer. Now, part of that is, again, going to come from that extra rifle rating that you don't typically get. But as a result, I have had some weird issues shooting this silencer on some of my handguns where the barrel kind of hangs up going back in the battery. It's not a huge issue, and it only happens on a couple of my guns. Overall, it does work well on my handguns, but just something to be aware of. You might have to do a little bit of tuning to your gun to get it to work like flawlessly, but overall, it still does work on handguns very, very well. I've just mostly been running it on carbines, whether this or my wife's CMMG Banshee in 9mm. I've also run it on my VZ61 Scorpion in 380, and just had a lot of fun with it overall. Now, one of the big appeals of the Yankee Hill silencers in general is going to be the price point that they come in at. These things are very aggressively priced, and you can often find them on sale through online retailers like Silencer Shop, especially now that the market has caught up, or the manufacturing has caught up to the market, so these things are more readily available. So even if you are buying some of the booster systems and whatnot, you can still keep this at a very reasonable price. Now, it's worth mentioning it only comes with a direct thread mount for 1/28, so you can put it on a 9mm carbine. So if you want to run it on handguns, you're going to need some sort of adapter, or if you want to run it on a tri-lug like I'm running it here, again, that's going to be additional stuff that you're going to have to buy. Some of the other silencers on the market, they come with a booster system, so you got to weigh that into the cost when you're evaluating, you know, apples to apples. But still a very aggressively priced can with very good performance given that price and the features that it has, at least in my opinion. So overall, if you're considering the R9, I definitely think it's worth taking a closer look at. Now, I hope that Yankee Hill can kind of improve their customer service. That's definitely something I've seen them knocked for a lot around the internet. And definitely not a good sign, again, when it's something that you're effectively married to and will likely need to see some sort of service or repair over its lifespan or over your lifespan with that product. So hopefully that's something they can get taken care of. I hope that the next time I do a video about a Yankee Hill product, I can come to you with some better information on that. But I still think it's worth you guys being aware of that issue because of the way the system works for buying NFA items here in the United States. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go and throw those in the comment section down below. I want to say thanks to my patrons for helping to make a video like this one possible. Again, I did have to pay for this silencer and also all of the ammo that I've put through this thing over a year that I've had it. Has definitely not been cheap or free. So with the support of the people I get over on Patreon, I'm able to help bring videos like this one to the channel. So if you want to financially support the channel, or if you want to see some of the perks like getting all the videos early, doing some exclusive content, like I was shooting a cap and ball revolver earlier and they're going to get a video just kind of doing a sneak peek at that. They've also seen a lot of other stuff not really seen yet here on the channel. If any of that stuff sounds interesting to you, or you just want to financially, again, support the channel, definitely follow the links down in the description below. But anyway, with all that being said, as always, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.